A lot of people want to try to learn to juggle by doing this, which is how they see people juggling in cartoons, which is throwing one up high and the second one going straight across the bottom. That's actually quite a difficult pattern. So we're not going to start off with that one. What we're going to do is we're going to start off with a figure of 8 pattern, which is called the cascade. This is much easier because both the balls are doing the same thing. All 3 balls are all going to the same height. Okay, so to start off, to learn how to do this pattern, we start off with 1 ball. Now, it's important to get the basics right before you move on to the next step. The trouble a lot of people have is they try and rush on to the second stage before they've learnt the first stage properly. So the first stage is to just throw the ball from hand to hand, same height, okay? Same throw, same height. So it's worth spending 5 or 10 minutes getting your throws from your left hand and your right hand to exactly the same height. Okay. So when you do the throws, add a little scooping motion at the bottom. Okay. Like this, okay? So your hands moving in a bit of a scooping motion. When you are comfortable with that and you've got both your throws going to the same height, then you're ready for the second ball. Now, we're going to do exactly the same thing, but with 2 balls, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw from my strong hand first. I'm going to throw that ball up, and as it reaches the peak of the arc, I'm going to release the second ball on the inside across the middle, okay? So it's going to go like this. Okay? 1, 2. 1, 2. Basically, you're almost trying to get both the balls in the air at the same time, but don't throw the second ball too soon. So 1, 2, that kind of speed, 1, 2. But it's a good idea to alternate which hand you start with. Okay. So the next stage is going to be 3 balls. And we're going to do exactly the same thing as before, okay? But we're just going to throw a 3rd ball. So what we're going to do in your strong hand, we're going to hold 2 balls like this, okay? Now this is the ball I'm going to throw first. Then I'm going to throw the ball in my other hand. And then that's the 3rd ball I'm going to throw, okay? So it's going to start off like this. And exactly the same throws that we did before. It's just 1 more on the end. So 1, 2, 3, and then stop, okay? 1, 2, 3, and then stop. At this stage, don't keep going because you're going to drop. And you don't want to be practicing dropping, okay? You just want to be practicing the nice clean throws. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You can try starting with your left hand if you want. Some people find it easier to start with their weak hand so they can concentrate on it a bit better. Again, spend a little bit of time on that, get nice and solid on that before you move on to the next stage. The next stage is we're just going to do 4 throws and then we're going to stop. Okay, so it's going to look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then stop. Again, spend a little bit of time on that, get nice and solid on that. When you're ready to move on, you can try a 5th throw and then a 6th throw. Okay, I recommend that you practice a certain number of throws and then stop. Don't wait until you drop because, like I said, you don't want to be practicing dropping, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.